Well, here I stand just 9 months away from the FAA's ADS-B out mandate, and in case you haven't been paying attention, a company called uAvionix has been advertising a 1 hour to compliance ADS-B solution with the skyBeacon product. Now, I've been hanging around avionics shops long enough to know that you can't really accomplish much in an hour other than maybe getting the airplane into the hangar and wheeling out the toolbox. But the idea behind the skyBeacon is to make it a drop-in replacement for the existing position lamp. Now, to find out how long it really takes to put a skyBeacon in, we found an airplane that just happened to need ADS-B out, this Piper Cherokee behind me, and a qualified A&P to put it in. Come on inside. So we're here at Wyndham Airport in eastern Connecticut. I'm with Paul Pelletier. He's an experienced A&P, an instructor. Paul, we're venturing on this project. This is a older Piper PA-28-151. Has the original OEM lighting system. How might this installation differ from another PA-28?
Well, the skyBeacon uses 12 volts for both the position lights as well as the strobes, and these strobe lights manufactured by Whelen, these xenon lights, use 450 volts. So, but that's not a problem. What we've done is we've upgraded the aircraft to LEDs on both the right position light and on the rotating beacon, and we're going to do that along with the install here on this wing.
And that LED system that Paul is talking about is the uAvionix skyBeacon. Now, the skyBeacon has what built into it?
Well, it has a position light, which is, this is left, so it'll be red, and it has the anti-collision light as well as the ADS-B out unit.
So a quick explanation is probably in order as to how we started with nearly 450 volts from the old strobe system to 12 volts.
Okay, so the Whelen box for the older strobe systems, they take in 12 volts and they process it in a way that it comes out 450 volts. And this is a bonded wire that used to come out to the old position lights. And I'm sorry, to the old strobe light. I was able to reconfigure the harness inside to 12 volts, and we just tested that, and there's 12 volts here now. So we've prepped the skyBeacon here. We put these handshakes in, and that just allows me to take the wingtip off, and you know, when I want to do inspections. We put the heat shrink over. We put one over the handshake and one on each side.
As for mounting the skyBeacon, it really was a direct bolt-on for the existing OEM lighting assembly, but worth mentioning is the wingtip on this Piper was a Knots to You aftermarket piece, and that was cut and drilled during the installation to accommodate the OEM lighting, and we ended up with a gap under the skyBeacon that needed to be filled. Okay, so the skyBeacon's connected, we got the wingtip back on. What's the next step?
So now we've powered up the skyBeacon. The skyBeacon will only work when the position light is on. So we've got the master on in the airplane, we've got the position lights running, and now this is going to make a Wi-Fi, and we're going to program it with the cell phone.
Now, before we program the device, a few words on the skyBeacon's cockpit switches. For this application, we use the existing navigation light rotary on-off switch. We also use the existing anti-collision rocker switch for the skyBeacon's LED strobe light. Now, if your aircraft doesn't have strobes, your installer will need to install a switch and route new wiring out to the left wingtip. So we've got a functional skyBeacon, and turned out to be about an hour and a half's worth of physical installation. With the strobe light, hour and a half, but the job's not done without paperwork. That's an important part of this installation. What do you think that might take?
We'll probably spend another couple hours on paperwork. It's nice that skyBeacon gave us exactly what the 337 has to say. A good A&P, I think, wants to make sure that all the checklists are updated. We have already updated the in-cabin flight, the checklist, and the POH, and then the 337 we need to take care of still.
So one of the reasons we're updating the aircraft checklist is because this system is on the aircraft position light switch.
if it's daytime hours and you don't have your position lights on, then you're not producing ADS-B out. So that really needs to be part of the checklist so that you're not breaking airspace.
Let's go inside. We'll talk about configuration and the paperwork.
Sounds good.
Now, uAvionix makes programming the beacon as simple as possible, although the data that you enter through the Wi-Fi based smartphone maintenance app is critical to the aircraft's unique ADS-B data stream, and the installer will have to be armed with some critical information to enter.
It asks you the dimensions of the aircraft. In truth, what it asks you is the aircraft smaller than these numbers? And then we did a measurement off the nose, back to the transponder. There's also making sure that you have the ICAO codes and some other information. Once we hit configure, everything went okay, and now it's time for the paperwork.
Now, as with any new ADS-B installation, it's a good idea to do a short flight test into ADS-B airspace, and in doing so you can generate and request an ADS-B public performance report. That's done on the FAA website. You've got 30 minutes after you land, after flying in the airspace, to request a report, and that report will tell you if there's any deficiencies in the ADS-B broadcast, and you can keep it with the aircraft paperwork to show that you're compliant with the mandate. And you can ask air traffic control if they see you as an ADS-B target. Here in Connecticut, I asked Bradley Approach Control if they see us as an ADS-B airplane, and they said they did. And they also said the ADS-B was working, but they couldn't tell us what data the ADS-B was transmitting. So yes, ATC knows you're equipped, but the controller I talked to didn't know anything about the data that I was transmitting as far as ADS-B. Now, putting this airplane back in the hangar, the ADS-B ready for the year 2020, and with upgraded lighting, that brings the budget around $2,300. It's $1,850 for the skyBeacon. Now, call it 4 hours of labor after rewiring the strobes, doing the paperwork and a flight test, although that doesn't include the new nav lights and tail beacon. The skyBeacon qualifies for the FAA's $500 installation rebate, and that drops the buy-in just south of $2,000. If you don't connect the strobes, it's even cheaper. And a special thanks to Paul Pelletier, the A&P at Learn to Fly Connecticut at Wyndham Airport in Connecticut, for accommodating the ADS-B installation and this field report. And you can read a full report on the skyBeacon installation in the May 2019 issue of Aviation Consumer Magazine. Reporting for Aviation Consumer, I'm Larry Anglisano. Thanks for watching.